Hey, this is Rebel Builder, and we are looking at the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium. This thing has 937 pieces. And if this is your first time here, please hit subscribe so you can see what else I have coming in the future. So here we are in flying mode right now with the wings down. This is the shuttle that we saw in Return of the Jedi, and we've seen it in a few incarnations since. But I hope this comes across in the video, but this thing, once the wings are folded down like this, is large. I have it propped up on some clear pieces there so we can see it all in one view here. Okay, let's take a look at some of the features, and we're going to start with the wings. Now these are just on some hinges here that fold up and down on either side. And then a cool feature when we want to go in landing mode, these landing gears kind of fold down like this. It's just a manual mechanism with some lift arms and Technic pieces, but pretty effective. And then another feature here, we have this yellow lift arm. We pull this back and it lowers the ramp here. And here we are in landed mode, and you can just tell, even though the ship is mostly white, you know, they snuck some different grays in there, and all the angles just really give it a detailed look. It really added to the overall look of the ship. And here's the cockpit here, and I think this is a neat mechanism how the studs start here and they're built up this way, and so it's almost got an upside down build to it. I thought that was pretty clever. Gives the neat shape of the front of the ship here. But this just lifts up, and then we can see we have Han Solo and Chewie in there in the cockpit. Now the cockpit wasn't quite wide enough with this design to fit them side by side, so they staggered them, and so Chewie sits a little further back inside there. Now I've got the wings folded flat here so we can see these side panels, but these are on some lift arms where these panels kind of pull out and lift straight up, and we can see we've got some Rebel troopers in there. Same kind of panel on the other side here. Pull this out and up. We can see some equipment in there and Princess Leia. And as we kind of zoom in here, we can see an extra spring-loaded missile there, and at the back of the ship there you can see that really cool detailed schematic of Endor, and there's a little symbol for the Death Star and some cool battle plans there for their mission. And it's probably a little hard to see, but the landing ramp there behind that seat is open. We can kind of take a guy and he falls right through. I want to point out here the technique that they used to build this fin. Now you would think with a bunch of bricks and slopes just all stacked together like that, it would be flimsy. But they used the same technique that they used on the T-16 Skyhopper, where it's mostly bricks, but you can see these left arms here in the middle, and they kind of pin everything internally with Technic pins and stuff to give it strength, and the way it all holds together, you know, that thing's not going to fall apart at all. I think the look of the back with the blue transparent engines there is really cool too. Now I'm really not a fan of the spring-loaded shooters, but when they take the trouble to kind of hide them away so you can't see them and then build some sort of cool mechanism, I appreciate that. So this one here, there's this cylinder piece here, and it's kind of on a hinge, and they have this on either side, but you just press this, you know, it's a little trigger that taps the end of that spring-loaded shooter and then off it goes. I really thought that was a clever technique. And there's some cool detail here with these cannons on either side. And both of them do kind of lower down and back up like that so they can go on a strafing mission or something. So for our minifigures, we get two Rebel Endor troopers, kind of the younger guy on the left with all green camouflage, and then the grumpy old guy on the right, and he's got more gray arms in his uniform. And then here's a little packet of equipment. We get a little backpack and some hooks there for their blasters, both with some detailing on the backs of their torsos, and I really do appreciate the helmets that they have. Next we have Princess Leia. She comes with a small blaster, a little snack for the Ewoks, and she does have this cool little fabric poncho on her. We also get a box of equipment with some thermal detonators in it. And here she is without her camouflage poncho, with some detailing, little pouches on her belt there on the back. And of course we get Han Solo and Chewbacca. Han's got some really cool detail there for his trench coat, some paint and detailing on his legs. He comes with a small blaster. And of course Chewbacca there is kind of the newer version with printing and some detail in his legs too, and of course his crossbow. So you do get a pretty good collection of minifigures here, and they could have included lots of different versions. They could have done Emperor Palpatine and a couple of royal guards. They could have included Luke. I would have almost liked to have seen somebody else besides Chewbacca, just because I feel like I have so many Chewbaccas at this point. But Han and Leia and the Rebel Troopers, I'm really happy with those. So if you're looking to recreate some of those classic scenes from Return of the Jedi, this would be a great set to have. But really, this thing was a cool build and some great detail and just really fun to put together. And I say it probably too many times, but this is another one of those sets that kind of surprised me, and I ended up liking it more than I thought I would. So I definitely recommend this. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with more. Thanks for watching.